All right. Welcome. Come on in, come on in. And how's everyone doing out there? Welcome to another episode of Family Finance Fridays with DJ the Money Coach. And this show is brought to you by the DJ the Money Coach team and the 7 Spheres of Money Systems. And before we get started and head on to tonight's destination, tonight's beach, hit that like button, share with at least 5 people. And if you're not subscribed to this channel, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell for the notifications so you can help us spread the good news, the message about that movement that can't be stopped. And that's the Pom Pom Lifestyle Movement, plenty of money, peace of mind. And we invite you to come join us on the beaches of the world. So let's go to tonight's beach. Of course, I'm joined by DJ the Money Coach and Tajir Green in the house tonight. So what's going on, fellas? How we feeling on this Friday?
What's going on, Nick? I'm great. It's a beautiful Friday. It's a great day to be alive. I'm blessed. How you feeling?
Listen, same here. I mean, I'll let DJ, say what he always says, but I share the same sentiment. Just happy to be here. Excited for what we have and what's to come, even during these very precarious times that we're living in. But we'll talk about that later. What's going on, DJ? How you feeling?
You're on mute, DJ.
Mute.
Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. But as I always say, any day above ground with your health is a great day to be alive, and especially on a Friday. So what better way to kick off your amazing weekend than do it with Family Finance Friday with DJ the Money Coach team, Nick Westbrooks and Tajir Green. So we're bringing it to you live, guys. We're excited, man. It's been a whirlwind week, major accomplishments, major, challenges that we rose to the occasion. And, just keeping the faith, baby. I think today's show is the best thing to talk about is five key things I want to talk about. Number one, I want to talk about the importance of honesty. Number two, I want to talk about the importance of integrity. Number three, I want to talk about the importance of trustworthiness. And number four, I want to talk about the importance of unity. And number five, the importance of doing work. So I want to run those back. Honesty, integrity, very important. Having the ability to be trustworthy, having the ability to be unified, and having the ability to put that work in. And I probably would even input a sixth one, which is loyalty. These are very important characteristics and staples in any successful relationship, any successful community, any successful business, any successful organization. And most importantly, these are the tenements of significance to create generational wealth. And I don't necessarily mean financially, but I mean togetherness, peace, community that gives you that stability that never falters, never wavers. And these are generally the 5 things. Doing the work is physical. So I'm going to go back and say honesty, integrity, trustworthiness, unity, loyalty, and the aforementioned work is, self-explanatory, because in the process of demonstrating these characteristics of leadership, you can only do that by putting the work in. And in essence, when you put these all together, they form love. See, love is an action verb. And a lot of times when we don't love ourselves or love thyself, we cannot display or share these principles of success because we don't have it internal. And it's so easy for people to get on your bandwagon when you are financially successful, popular, famous. But also quickly, the real truth in the litmus test happens when you have tough times, challenges, disagreements. Now you are being put to the test. Are you honest in tough situations? Where's your integrity? That means that you keep your word. You stay consistent in what you do. Trustworthiness. Can you not gossip, criticize, complain? Be accountable that if you are sent to do a task, it gets done. Unity. It goes without saying, but a lot of times we, especially in our community, we get off that wagon real fast in lieu of some dollar bills. And the loyalty part should never be questioned. As a saying, you're 100% with me, but 1% against me is 100% against me. So throughout this amazing week, all of these characteristics and tenements of true success and significance were tested as we went about our work. And typically, people, organizations, evil, institutions, and power-hungry people, they know how to conquer and divide when they see that there are, breaks in these 5 key elements of success. And you see that pervasively throughout our communities, especially in tough times. And you see people's, integrity, which they never had, goes out the window because one minute they'll say they're against somebody, but then all of a sudden somebody give them an opportunity to be at the White House. And now all of a sudden their biggest proponent and advocate for somebody just a week ago, they said they wouldn't be caught dead talking to or supporting. But now they got access to the White House and they changed their tune real fast. So we've had the chance to go throughout all of this, and we had a chance to make some tough decisions as leaders. It's not popular, but it's the right thing to do as it pertains to some contracts and some delays, and in this business world, we never talk about this stuff. We always want to talk about the shine, the positive, and we want to have a Joel Osteen aspect of life. Everything's wonderful. Everything's happy. Nobody has to be accountable to anything. It's pie in the sky, man. That's foolishness. And when you're following that formula of everything's happy, everything's amazing, everything's awesome, you are setting yourself up for a huge fall and a huge depression, and you're going to be crestfallen. And I equate this to, it's almost like the little kid that was always bigger than everybody. And he or she really didn't have spectacular talents. They were just bigger than everybody. When they were 5, they looked like they were 10, and they were put into some sport and they just ran over people. And then all of a sudden they grew up, they went to elementary school, they were still bigger than everybody. But then they went to high school, and all of a sudden that big didn't float no more because they were just average. And then they got out on that field and got that ass whooped. And then all of a sudden, all that puffing up has now made that person suicidal, where they done lost their mental constitution, their confidence, because it was built on a false reality. Or you are being overinflated and told that, everybody hates you, and you go out, and now, unfortunately, we have to give acknowledgement and send our prayers and our deepest condolences out to, Georgia, to the high school where some clown, 14 years of age, goes out and murders 4 people and injures 8 to 9 folks. And you have to say, DJ, what does that have to do with honesty, integrity, trustworthiness, unity, and loyalty? Well, here's the reality. If that clown parents would have been honest with that clown, and they would have had some semblance of integrity, they would have never had raised that kid, and he would have never been in a false reality that, the world hates him or whatever, and you go out and you kill innocent people. And if I'm not mistaken, I think they have now created a law that when stuff like that happens, the parents are now held accountable. Correct me if I'm wrong, Nick, because I think there's a precedent that occurred about a year ago where something similar like that, and the parents were actually sentenced as well.
Yeah, that does sound familiar. I think you might be right about that.
Yeah. So here's the thing. This is now becoming a norm because we are not unified on the right principles, and we're loyal to the false gods of fame and fortune, and we're not putting the work in. We shortcutting the shortcut, because where does a 14-year-old kid get an automatic weapon, a weapon itself? And who was in that kid's ear to say, hey, go kill these innocent people? Or I'll give you another one. Just the other day, I think in Chicago or some suburb of Chicago, a guy gets on a train, on a high-end train that goes from the suburbs to the downtown area called a metro, and kills people in their sleep. Kill people in their sleep on their way. And I've thought about it, man. I've taken the metro, or it's called also called the ICA, which is the Illinois commuter line, and coming from the northwest suburbs, which I lived in for years, and you get up and go to work real early, 5 o'clock in the morning, 6, and you get on the train peacefully, and you sleep until you get downtown. And this guy gets on the train and kills these people, shoots them point blank in the head. Now, I don't want to become a Debbie Downer. However, if we as a society would be honest with ourselves, have some integrity, stand on principles, be accountable, the trust to carry out, the godly principles of success, and be unified on principles that we're not going to sell our souls for $1 or access to a house, then we don't let any division to come between us. And most importantly, we do the God honest hard work, not 2 to 5 days, not 2 to 5 weeks, not 2 to 5 months, but 2 to 5 years. We will see a different outcome in the world today. And like you said, man, we are in precarious times, and it's only going to get worse on November 5th. And unfortunately, that day is my youngest birthday, and it's going to be a seminal time in America, because America on November 5th, it's going to change for the worse. And it doesn't matter who gets elected in the White House, because they're all crooked. They're all devoid of honesty. They are definitely bankrupt when it comes to integrity. And they are empty when it comes to trustworthy, and the only unity that they have is the power, and their loyalty is to popularity contests, but they do practice the principles that are universal to get them into position to be in the most powerful seat on the planet for the last time. Be rest assured, guys. How does that relate to finances? Well, it's real simple. In election years, typically markets tank. Inflation and taxation tends to rise. Cost of everything is up. Quality of service is down. You're feeling the battle of the bulge in your house. How do I know? Because I feel it in mine. Car insurance doubling, tripling. Homeowners insurance doubling, tripling. Less service, more ripoffs. Home Depot, Lowe's just came out criticizing the general public because they aren't selling enough of their overpriced, low quality goods. So they take to the streets to bash the general market for not buying their crap. Where's the integrity in that? Where's the honesty in that? You're having a bad couple of quarters and you're going to bash the people that you want to come online and physically in your doors, so you're going to go talk about them. But you know what? That works well in our community. Talk about our people, and especially talk about the women, and they're going to run right into every shop and prove to you that they can buy everything under the sun that they want. W-A-N-T. Not what they need. So today's show is a question to you who's watching this. Where are you at when you have self-analysis, introspection, and before you want to take those, fingers on your hand and point them towards the other person, realize that the other four are pointing back at you. Where are you in terms of your integrity? Are you trustworthy? Who are you unified with through thick and thin? Not when it's raining down, during COVID and they giving out PPE and all this free money that we are now paying for it in the form of taxation inflation, thanks to, Uncle Biden. And where do your loyalty lie? Do you automatically get off one track because, again, somebody gave you some paper that you didn't earn? And what kind of work are you putting in? See, this show here, it's not a popularity contest, this show. Because here's the reality. We don't do this show for likes. We don't do this show for subs. But we do this show for it to be shared, because we take quality over quantity, and we don't need to professionally beg for sponsorships and this, that, and the other. Because this ain't how we make our bread. Because if it was, we'd be broke just like most of us. This is a litmus test, a lightning rod for honesty, for integrity, for trustworthiness, for unity and loyalty, because we do the work. So I want you to ask yourself a question. Where do you rate in these 5 important categories? And are you shortcutting the shortcut by not doing the real work? Nothing wrong with working smart, but you still got to put the work in. And you got to put the work in with joy in your heart. So, I've said a mouthful, but here's the thing. I'm excited. I'm full of joy. I've never been at ease and at peace than ever before, because I see the game in slow motion. And I know what the real battle is out here. The battle is not a financial battle, ladies and gentlemen. The battle is an invisible battle. It's a spiritual warfare. And they said the greatest trick ever completed, done, or shown is that Satan has convinced you and me and the rest of the world that he has never existed. Thus, you firmly believe this is the only time you are ever going to be physically, spiritually, soulfully on one plane in your life. So thus, you go out and go chase money, fame, power, and you rob, steal, pillage to get there because you know this is the only one you got. And here's the reality is you can't take any of this stuff with you. And because you don't have faith, you come up short when you should be honest in tight situations. Your integrity falters because when somebody questions you about something, you make a story or you can't remember that you gave your word for something. When you have a duty and a responsibility, you have to be reminded of it instead of just doing it. So I can't trust you. And then your unity, my goodness. You get on any boat that come along to get the quickest access to money, popularity that you can hop on. And your only loyalty is to the almighty dollar. So you get a short-term success, but you get a long-term guilt mindset. You don't sleep well at night. You constantly think people are talking about you, so you're checking all your likes and you responding to them because you got thin skin. That's what we're talking about, ladies and gentlemen. Now, on the opposite end of that coin, if you are definitely an honest person, and when I say honest, here's one thing I don't want you to get conflicted with. Oh, I told the truth. I tell the truth all the time. Let me tell you something, honestly speaking. Even though you may be speaking your truth, but you can use the truth as an excuse for you to be indignant, disobedient, disrespectful, because you lack decorum. You're uncouth. You're not refined. But your justification is, I'm telling the truth. You're not being honest with yourself. There's a time and a place to exhibit truth. Honest means you're being authentic always, and you know how to be diplomatic and ambassador-ish. And that's not even a word. The integrity comes this way. Whatever happens in the dark eventually comes to light. Meaning, if somebody's out there saying negative things about you and they're not true, over time, they will rise up and reveal themselves. But if you're not being an integral and integrity-based person, then that will rise up eventually. Are you an example of character, role model? And here's where honesty and integrity stands in place, because here's the cop-out that we have in society today. When you have these athletes, entertainers, politicians, pastors, who most of the time will tell you, I'm not a role model. But here's the reality. You are, because you are in the public square. And that young boy, that young girl who may or may not have an authentic hero in their house, mom, dad, brother, sister, and their only closest thing to a semblance of a hero or heroine is you, because their only surrogate is you. And you have a responsibility to carry yourself in a certain manner that displays goodness, trustworthiness, honesty, integrity, because you are in the public square. What you do in your private life is your business. But if you out there professing, evangelizing, whatever, in the public, and it's getting attention, you should be responsible for the message and the way you behave. What do I mean? If I'm running for the president of the White House, am I having somebody come up on stage and twerking? Am I, taking hot sauce out of my purse? Am I inviting you to come to the White House to step and sing X-rated rap songs? Because I just told you what I really think about you, and that your vote really has no value. So I'm going to get it for stupidity and clownmanship, and then I'm going to go do something totally different. So that's duplicitous. Hey, man, I'm just saying. But if I'm running for the White House, first thing I'm going to talk about, hey, what does God want for the country? What is good for the average family in America? And then I'm going to talk about how can we benefit business, especially the small business owner that still today, ladies and gentlemen, makes up 2/3 of our economy and employs more people than anybody. I'm going to stand on those principles. And then I'm going to ask you, can I earn your vote? And then you know what? I'm going to do something that's going to be uncharacteristic. As I'm running for president of the White House, I'm going to tell you the real truth and the real power of where your vote should be given. I'm going to tell you in your local community, that's the most powerful vote that you need to cast on 11/5/24, because that immediate vote determines where your tax dollars goes in your neighborhood, your precinct, your alderman, your state representative, your state senator, your councilman. These are the people whose actions actually have a direct impact daily on your livelihood, not me, who wants to be in the White House. So I'm going to tell you something that's unpopular and say, hey, you know what, Nick? You know what, Tajir? Any local election, state election, precinct election that's happening right now while I'm running for the White House, do me a favor. Do your research on the impact of your vote being casted locally first, and find out who is creating, law and legislation that impacts you personally every day. Because what I'm doing up here will very rarely affect you on a day-to-day basis. Now, once you take care of that, now come on up here and cast your vote for whom you think is going to line up with God, family, and business. But you're not going to hear either one of those candidates ever tell you that. Because you know why? They do not care. But if I get you to go out and vote locally, let's say you are married with no children, but you have a high tax that supports the school, and maybe you would like to get those dollars somewhere directed towards something that can impact you. Be it a charity, be it a municipality road, a handicap, a disability, helping the elderly. Hey, maybe since my dollars and I don't have any children are going to the school, how about I can direct them somewhere along this pathway? Maybe get some of the veterans off of the street. Maybe in the school system, I vote for the person and make sure that there's no pornographic literature in the library for any school, yet alone 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th grade. Maybe I check the track record of that person voting in the local senator race. Maybe if I'm along the border and illegal immigrants are coming in droves in record, maybe I want to check that guy's record and say, why is he against supporting the border? Oh, I know, because he don't live down in the border. Okay, let me cast my vote to cast him or her out. Maybe you want to cast your vote in my hometown when they're now giving out millions of dollars in loans to illegals and giving them Social Security. And here it is, my community is now a sanctuary city, and I can't even get help, but you taking my money. New York, California. See, the trick is that they get you all caught up thinking about this national stuff while they killing you locally and putting you out your own community. Maybe we get back, here's a novel concept, to making everybody speak English. That anytime I call a local municipality, a library, I shouldn't have to say, press 1 for English. And automatic, yeah, you're going to receive that the wrong way. But you know what the irony is? When I'm in Mexico, that's not an option to say, press 1 for English. When I'm in Zanzibar, that's not an option. Why is it an option here? One word, babe, greed. Because the powers that be, they want to employ as much uneducated, low-level entry labor jobs that they possibly can to pad their pockets. And now that they pad their pockets, that person that came over here illegally is going to feel compelled to cast a vote because you just empowered them financially so they can send that money back to their home. That's just a thought, ladies and gentlemen. So you as a stand-up United States citizen, born or natural, that did it the right way, maybe you ought to find out where your loyalty lies. Maybe you ought to stay unified locally, then state, then regional, then national. But you know what that's going to require for you to do? Some work. But you know what you're doing? You're turning on C-SPAN, CNBC, YouTube, IG, and the pundits who are paid to tell you how to vote and don't think. And you are confused to think that we live in a democracy, but the Constitution is a republic. And maybe you don't know the definition between a democracy and a republic. A democracy is simple, ladies and gentlemen. It's 3 of us on this broadcast. 2 out of 3 say we jumping off the cliff and one says no, the one with the most votes wins. That's a democracy. See, a republic is based on God. God says we don't jump off of cliffs. I don't care if all three of you voting for it. We don't. That's a republic. I'm just keeping it real simple for you. See, this is a republic. You're not going to find the word Democrat, democracy in our Constitution, statewide or U.S. Constitution. So why are we always promoting democracy? We promote democracy because the elite who want to control you, they know that they can manipulate the vote, the electoral, and get you thinking that it's a popularity contest. Because think about it, ladies and gentlemen, the last two elections, the popular vote did not put the person in the White House. Correct me if I'm wrong, Tajin and Nick.
You are correct. I have this conversation very often.
Yeah.
Not to cut you off, DJ. People will say the same thing. Hey, man, who you voting for? I'm like, it doesn't matter. All that matters is my local elections because the popular vote doesn't matter. I don't have a vote for the Electoral College. So what would I really care too much about this for? This is really irrelevant for my life. So it's really no point in me studying this, watching all the debates and everything, because I can't change it. I have no power to affect it. So whatever happens, happens. But I have to keep my immediate surroundings around to ensure that, like you said, the laws being passed benefit myself, my family, and my community. And I don't get economically wiped out or socially wiped out in the place that I live, eat, and sleep.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, we used to make it a point that you had to pass your state constitution in 8th grade and United States Constitution in 8th grade. Now, here, you don't have to do that until you're a junior in high school. That is appalling.
Oh, guess what? Where I live, you don't have to do it at all.
Yeah, because guess what? You're in a liberal state called New York, so we bringing in all the illegal immigrants. They not gonna know nothing about the state. They know, hey, I'm getting a check. I vote this for that check.
We know the basic tenets of the Constitution, the basics in high school. The rest you really learn in college if you decide to go that far. But we learn nothing about our actual state's charter of laws or anything of any real substance. So unless you got a family member that's a legal person or on it, you have no idea, what laws are affecting you and what you are opting into or having to comply to at any time.
Exactly. This is correct, ladies and gentlemen. So yeah, so you're watching Family Finance Friday, DJ the Money Coach team. Today's show is about the most important characteristics that you should have embodied in your soul: honesty, integrity, trustworthiness, unity, loyalty, and the obvious is that you have to put the work in, ladies and gentlemen. And if you're always out here trying to save the world, here's another tip. How about you just save the world inside your house? You save the world inside your house, just like voting locally, statewide, you're going to save the national situation. Think about that. And if you are in position to own yourself, when it comes time to stand up for what is right and what's not popular, you will not genuflect. But it's tough. And I know some of us are born in dire situations, but that has nothing to do with your character. But guess what? If your mama out there doing wrong because she's talking about the poverty, or your dad out there absent because he don't want to take a job in Burger King or McDonald's, but he want to go out there and sling rock, and he know the two outcomes to that is jail and in the grave. And when he in jail, he working for 50 cents an hour doing what he could have did at McDonald's for $15 an hour. Yeah, man.
Oh, man.
And the same cats that are in the White House right now, they done been put that bill down and put them laws down, and these elite politicians, these fake journalists, and these entertainers will all of a sudden pivot and tell you or try to shame you into why you shouldn't support or why you not supporting the person who was not even elected to run. And that shows you the fallacy of the system. This is the first time in the history that has actually been unveiled that you don't get voted to run for the party. You're chosen. Tell me the last time that happened. You go from the VP, you don't even have to run in a general electoral to be chosen. They just say, hey, you're the person. The American population does not even get a say-so in it. How do you feel about that, ladies and gentlemen? I'm just curious. I mean, it was amazing. I'm coming back home from Zanzibar, literally the night that Biden steps down. I'm like, oh, man, very peculiar. But you know what? You know everybody can run. No, they snuffed that up. Oh, VP is now the chosen one. Nick, you don't get a say-so in that. Tajir, you don't get a say-so in that. I definitely didn't get a say-so in it. And now they start running the campaigns. Hey, you got to support so we can get the orange man out of the office. But you know what? I'll tell you this. The orange man didn't cut any corners. He got chosen through votes by his party. Like it or not. Did go through the democratic process. But somehow, the VP, special. She didn't even have to do that. God forbid they find out that when she tried to run for the presidency, she was like in 8th or 9th place and suspended her campaign with the quickness. And here's the irony of it to show you this is all smoke and mirrors and it's all an acting show. Because let's not forget that Joe Biden was about in 4th, 5th place, and then Mr. High Cotton Sambo himself down there in South Carolina went in and got him the victory in South Carolina, and he thought Biden was going to give him something. But he didn't demand, and he delivered him to the promised land. Maybe y'all might check y'all history. Now, before you get it twisted, I don't have a dog in the fight. I'm voting. But I can tell you this, I'm not voting for neither one of those people. I'm voting for God, family, business. And my vote locally, baby, gets cast always. Because I'm concerned about my real estate taxes going up. I'm concerned about my utility bill going up. I'm concerned about all my insurances going up. And guess what? Ain't nobody in that White House can do anything about it. Zero. So, what we need to do as individuals, look inside the mirror at the man in the mirror, like Michael Jackson used to say, and practice the 11th commandment. Thou shalt not jive thyself. Where I stack up with my honesty. Am I an integrity-based person? Can I be trusted? Who am I unified with? Where does my loyalty lie? And last but not least, am I negotiating the price of success because I'm trying to shortcut the shortcut as it pertains to the work? If I can legitimately look at myself in the mirror and rate myself from 1 to 5, 5 being I'm knocking it out the park, 1 mean I'm doing a hell of a terrible job, 3 mean I'm average, which is the best of the worst and the worst of the best, then I got some room for improvement. And then I go down and whatever, local election that has already occurred or is going to occur again upcoming, I'm going to start doing the research on all the candidates. And then I'm going to place my vote nationally on 11/5/24. And I'm not going to allow myself to be swayed by the pundits, the commercials, the athletes, and the entertainers, because you're only going to see them every 4 years campaigning for the same people, talking the same rhetoric. These are facts. And what you should do is go check their voting record. Go check their voting records, their public information, and find out, are they lining up with your God, your family, and your business? And you won't fall for the okie doke. Hey, you know what? They're making sure that small business owners get a $50,000 grant. Oh, really? They just brought that up about 2-3 days ago. Because that insider said, hey, we gotta talk to this. And we know that this little grant we putting out there, everybody ain't gonna get it, and it's gonna be hard for you to get anyway, but let's talk to it to get them off of what we not doing. Think about it, ladies and gentlemen. It's no different when we talk about people selling you products or services. We always ask them to ask them a question. Nick, Tajir, show me what you have equity and ownership that you're trying to sell me. Show me how I can access your network to enhance my dream. And if that's all equal, then where do I enroll? i.e., where do I punch my ballot to cast my vote for you? Man, you see how that lined up? See how smooth I was? I think y'all call that dropping bars. And see, I know what you're saying right now. Damn, DJ just talked too much. But guess what? Ask yourself a question. Am I making sense? Because common sense is not common knowledge for a lot of sheep and lemmies. So if I pull a Spike Lee on you when Spike Lee was good at what he does, made you coming out of the movie theater thinking and not giving you a typical ending to a movie, because I want to provoke your thoughts. I'm not here to entertain you. See, the revolution would not be televised. And a revolutionary concept is taking care of the home front first. Because I can rest assure you, unless you're part of that elite clique, you can walk right past both of them candidates. You wouldn't get close to them, but they wouldn't piss on you if you were on fire. But if they can use you as a pawn to scare people, to get a vote like George Bush did back in the 80s against Dukakis, and take a black man and said he was out on not parole, but I forgot what they call it when they let you out of the jail to do work.
Oh.
Not bail. What do they call it, Nick? They let you out of jail and you can do work and then you come back at night. I'm having a senior moment, but help me out.
Supervisory is something super released under supervision, something.
Yeah, it's one word, but it's the same thing you're talking about. But so they showed this guy in a silhouette, portrait that was a black man, and this guy went out and committed murder or something, and they started promoting that because Dukakis was the one that had implemented this in his state where he was the governor, and that turned the tide and got George Bush won the victory to the White House. So they slick, baby. They slick. Same thing they did, unfortunately, with the tragic demise of a demonic person. Not going to say his name, but changed the tide in 2020. Did it not? Hey, man. Now you have statues to a demonic person. Talk about finances. That's your dollars. To a person who was a drug head, a woman beater, a thief. It's unfortunate the life was taken, but when did that person become a hero to anybody? So like my man Chuck D said, hey, don't none of my heroes appear on those stamps. Elvis was not a hero to me. MF him. Are y'all feeling me? So I think we'll take a little break. We might go on too deep for him. But you know what? We ain't looking for the surface dwellers, baby. We're talking about 10,000 leagues beneath the sea. See, I'm dating myself. You probably don't even know what that league has anything to do with water. But go do your research. But again, if you think Google got all the answers, that's part of your problem. So, like I said, baby, today is a great day. Every day that you are alive and healthy on this planet is a beautiful day. And then the icing on the cake, baby, is when you're a free man or free woman in this world. And let me tell you something. Even if you're not, be free in your mind and the rest will follow. And guess what? Nobody can take your dignity and your respect unless you give it to them. You get that on the way home. So in your darkest day, stay true to you. And the Most High will bless you with favor. So we're gonna take a break. We're gonna come back. We're gonna wrap this up. I'm gonna let the young lions pop off a couple of things, whatever's on their mind. But you get me started, I'm gonna bring that rain, baby. And we're going to bring the lightning and the thunder. There was lightning and thunder. All right. You're watching Family Finance Friday with DJ the Money Coach team. And we're going to be right back after a word from us, for us, with us, by us. Will we do it any other way, ladies and gentlemen? Of course not. No. Check out the message on our video. It's official. We're in business, guys. All right. Here's where we do it at, baby. Cooperative economics. What's happening, everybody? This is DJ the Money Coach coming to you live January 17th, 2024. And history has already been recorded. That's right. We just opened up a 220-unit luxury residential resort in Zanzibar. We also are completing 4 luxury townhouses in Zanzibar. And we're also going to open up the Pom Pom Lifestyle Resort in Zanzibar. It's Africans for Africans, supported by Black Americans, unapologetically.
So what time is it?
The Pom Lifestyle Movement can't be stopped.
Hit the link. Join us on the Beaches World in Zanzibar. Home is ours. Peace.
All right, welcome back. You're watching Family Finance Friday with DJ the Money Coach team. And we got in the house the amazing Nick Westbrooks, who recently came back from the motherland over there in Zanzibar, literally about 3 weeks ago. And then we have the protege, also affectionately known as El Presidente. He is the president of the entire international operations. And yours truly, DJ the Money Coach. So I'm going to defer to these young lions. We're going to let them say what they need to say on this amazing Friday. And then we're going to get out of here, and we're going to thank you guys for helping us express the importance of being together in honesty, integrity, trustworthiness, unity, loyalty, and never, ever abdicating the work that's required for success. So what you got over there, guys?
Nick, let me know. You want to go first, or you want to close the people out tonight?
I'll close it out because I got the least to say. I'm the concise one, so you go ahead and pop that off.
I got you, brother. All right, so you guys, DJ really told you guys the importance of all these things and how they lead into everything. And I just want to highlight this point that we have made fame and fortune our gods. It has to stop. We have to get back to honor, integrity, trustworthiness, because you have to first be at peace with yourself. And as DJ said before, love yourself so you can be honest and be truthful and be a valuable member to society. The problem now is everything goes as long as you get to the bag. As long as you got the money, everything goes. However you did it to get there, it's all in the journey and it's being celebrated. But that has led to an insane amount of poor habits and culture that we have taken on as our own culture and allowed that to represent who we are. And it's not. This is a negative effect and a really derogatized version of who we are that we've put on the front street and let it represent us. We have to, in our own, first of all, in ourselves, make sure we're leading with honesty, integrity, and have those real difficult conversations and moments and make sure that we love and respect ourselves and the people around us and lead that energy into our families and let that grow on a mass scale. Because really, we think it's all about money and a fight for the rich versus the poor. But that's what they give you to make you think that, this is the battle, to not pay attention to the real battle that's happening. The real battle is a battle of morality, of the soul of you, your family, and the nation at large. So make sure you keep those things in mind. And if you didn't already, take notes on everything DJ said, because he just gave you the principles of how to operate and win regardless over the next couple of generations. And be mindful and be a man or woman of honor. It's not cheesy. It's not corny. That's how you live a long, healthy life and create a legacy and look in the mirror and actually be proud of what you see in your reflection. So with that said, I'm going to turn it over to the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Nick Westbrooks, to give us the game and close us out.
Oh yeah. Thank you for those words, Tajir. Expressed eloquently. First thing I'll say, since we're talking about money and this is Family Finance Friday, and you've heard this before, money only amplifies who you are. So if you're a man or woman of honesty, integrity, trustworthiness, unity, loyalty, when you give money, that should only amplify those things unless you allow the money to change you. But if you were a person of no integrity, no loyalty, if you were a loser, lame, evil, devilish, once you get the money, you just become even more of a loser, evildoer, a devilish behavior. So remember that. We see a lot of that. We're seeing a lot of We're seeing a lot of cats out here, social media, the media, who are just lames with money now, but they're popular, but they're still lames with money. If you watch their tactics, watch the foolery, that they engage in. The next thing, is going back to what we were saying about this political landscape and saving the world within your household. Control what you can control. Don't worry about what you can't control. As simple as that. Do you have control over it? Can you do anything about it? Yes? Then do it. No? Then don't worry about it. And the topic of the show: honesty, integrity, trustworthiness, unity, loyalty, work. These are this should be the bar. It should be the minimum of what you do. But right now, unfortunately, this is a luxury. So now we have to change that narrative and change that norm and make that the standard, rather than the luxury or the exception to what we're experiencing and interacting with on the day to day. The biggest trick, DJ said the biggest trick that was played on us is convincing us that the devil doesn't exist. Now you might have to rethink what the devil looks like and what you perceive as the devil. Devils and devilish behavior are peoples and actions that you run into on a daily basis. We're not talking about a person with horns and red skin, running around some mystical creature, that we don't have a tangible concept of. We're talking about, everyday people that we interacting with, that we running into, the people that DJ was referring to, in the recent events that were going on. Those are the devils, and those are who we are at war with when it comes to this spiritual battle, and that's what I got to say. If anybody wants to build off of that, we can do that, or we can, go to the conclusion.
Well, you know what? We'll just go to the conclusion. We'll make this short, sweet, and concise. There's not anything else we need to say about that other than give the people a message of how you can get in touch with us, because, there's times and places where, people feel lonely. They feel, abandonment. They feel that there's no support and no resources for them to tap into. So if that's you, hey, you know what? Reach out to us. You can call us 866-395-3042, 866-395-3042, 1-800-866-395-3042. Email us, nick@djthemoneycoach.com, Nick, N-I-C-K @djthemoneycoach.com. And yes, we are in the business of doing business. If you would like to find out how to get out of debt, how to increase your credit score, how to pay off your home in 7 to 10 years early, how to put 6, 12, 18 months of emergency fund, even when your income is going backwards, we can provide what's called Back to the Basics program for you. It's a small investment that gives you a consultation with me or Tajir. It also gives you a financial analytical report, a budget. These things are priceless right now. I want to say shout out to Norma and her fiance who tapped in and called us during the week. And I actually had a chance to talk to him personally on the phone because she had engaged in our program almost a year ago. And she still remembered the value lessons that she learned. And good kudos to her that she brought her fiance in and he and I talked on the phone. And we're referring them right back to the right source to help them out with their situation and our professional network in the 7 spheres of money. So if you're that person watching this and you're having some financial challenges and you really don't know how money makes money, or you don't know the rules of how finances really work, and you're a high income earner, a middle income earner, or an entry income earner, hit us up and get that back to basics, opportunity for yourself and invest a couple of dollars in your future so that we can make your future brighter. Now, if you happen to be that person that wants to be in a master training class with us and get these hard rules and taught step by step, not preached at, but actually taught step by step and tell you exactly what to do and have somebody guide you over the next 6 to 8 weeks, then you should engage in our All-Star program. Our All-Star program allows you to actually have 6 consultations. First consultation, we're going to do the budget. Second consultation, we're going to do a financial analytical report. That's just like you going into the doctor and you get an analysis. Then after you get the analysis, we're going to turn you over to the specialist. Now the specialist could be the CPA, the attorney, the mortgage person, the insurance person, the financial planner. Then in the fourth session, you're going to get the chance to sit down with me, and I'm going to do your financial education plan, step by step, emergency fund, debt, pay off home, college fund, increase your income. Then you're going to get another master class to actually show you how, once we got you stabilized, to actually engage into actually acquiring 7 asset classes where you are. And that one asset class may be just as simple, ladies and gentlemen, as you start an emergency fund. Crawl, walk, run. See, a lot of times we assume that everybody knows what the core business we're in, and we stop talking about it. That's on me. Integrity, honesty. We're getting back to that, letting you guys know. We will start engaging again at the end of the month, beginning of October, back our master training. We'll start providing, which we always have, because all you have to do, ladies and gentlemen, go to djthemoneycoach.com, or you can get in the description, and you can actually enroll in one of these curriculums. Emphasis on curriculums, ladies and gentlemen. Why do I say that? Because I've been doing this for 22 years. I created the 7 Spheres of Money system in 2002. And have worked personally with over 45,000 people in the process. From people in, the Senate, literally, to people on the curb. We work with everybody. The important thing is we meet you where you are. And I'll leave it to you at this, because when I was on the phone with Norma's fiance, he was like, hey, give me some financial advice right now. I said, hey, you know what? I don't know you. Now, I know we did a financial plan on your fiance, but that's probably changed. So before I start doling out bad advice to you, let's get a checkup. Let's get the financial information from you. Do an analytical analysis on you. And then let me give you where you should go. That way, it'll be specifically to your need today. Does that make sense, ladies and gentlemen? And if you're somebody that's already got your ducks in a row, doing good, and you want to do better in this economy that's contracting, but there's contraction also equals addition, and people get more wealthier that actually know financial literacy and are better investors than the average person, then we got a track for you as well. It's called our executive membership program. And our executive membership program literally onboards you into 7 different asset classes. Residential properties. Let me remind you, ladies and gentlemen, we've been in the residential property business since 2006. And right now we have a portfolio over 240 properties that are paid for, ladies and gentlemen, that are worth, 9 figures collectively across the globe. But we can get you into one as little as $10,000, $15,000. We can get you into duplexes, triplexes, quads, apartment buildings, mobile homes, parks, and obviously the coup de grace resorts. But it all depends on where you are. We can get you into startup investments like Grab TV, the Dream Exchange, first Black stock exchange in the history of the world. And here's the funny thing. You don't even have to be black to participate in it. It's business, baby. It's business. Okay? Maybe we get your children into the youth financial education. This is the best time to get your children. They're back at school. They're teaching them all the stuff that they really don't need to know that's not going to allow them to be a successful adult. You can get right here, have your child taught the 4 envelopes. What's that? Real simple. For every dollar that your child is given, earned, what have you, the first 50 cents of that dollar goes into investing. The second envelope is for saving, 30%. The third envelope is give 10% to people less fortunate, called charity. And then the last 10%, let your son or daughter do whatever they want to do with that. And what you'll come to find out, they'll become better stewards of their money and they won't spend foolishly. Now you teach them the big game and show them that investing in dividends is no harder than playing video games. And now you're able to take them and teach them how to become a millionaire. You know, at the age as young as 13, we can teach them how to put aside $21 a month and mathematically make a 12% return. And by the time they're 40, they'll have $1 million in the bank. You can't stop it, folks. This is just pure math. But that's not sexy. But you know what the reality is? It is sexy because wealth is the ability to have income coming into your house regardless of what you do, because you have hard assets that kick out money like a currency exchange. And why not get your child engaged in knowing what an asset and a liability is, while their mind is so open and curious to learn, and teach them in an excitement platform to show them how to do it. Teach them what a balance sheet is. You probably don't even know what a balance sheet is. Teach them what an income statement is. You probably don't know what an income statement is. And I'm not trying to insult you, but the reality is most of you don't know. Okay? The balance sheet is going to determine your net worth. The income statement is going to tell you what your cash flow is. A lot of you right now run a negative cash flow. But if you learn how to treat your personal house like a business, you'll become very profitable. And the true sense of the word asset is it feeds you when you can't have the ability to make money physically. A liability, it eats you in hard times. Doodads. How about we plug you and your children in together into these fun fast forward programs that only 4 weeks? Because guess what? You're going out this weekend and you're going to spend some money. Because here's what happens in the economy. When the economy is tight, we live vicariously through entertainment. And we will scratch out $20 from here, scratch out $100 from here. And then we don't realize that it adds up. And every month, somehow, some way, you're spending $300 to $500 on stuff instead of taking that $300 to $500 and paying down your debt. Because that ain't sexy. Because that ain't something you can talk to your girls about, but you can talk to your girls about the new perfume you bought. You talk to your girls about the sale you got over there at, Neiman Markup. Or you can talk to your girls about the 20-inch nails you got on your hands that you can't wipe your ass with. Or you, Mr. Successful, can talk to your boy about, I played Call of Duty for 5 hours until 3 o'clock in the morning and I slept through class. And how successful I am, and women are lining up to get with me.
Or the new thing, I spent the last day or so on all my money putting in sports betting on DraftKings, watching the game all day and night.
Yep. Not knowing that the big print giveth and the little print take it away when they tell you gambling is a disease and gambling is a sin, but they don't care because you're going to fall prey and you be right there in Gambling Anonymous. Don't get it twisted, folks. But hey, that's what we can do for you. So if you need the basic introduction and get a checkup from the neck up, get the Back to the Basics program. Invest that $197. Get that consultation with me or Tajir. And let me tell you this. Why you want to get a consultation, Tajir? Because this young man spent almost 6 years in the private equity sector doing commercial financing as a senior analyst on projects from 75 to 150 million. Maybe he might know something about money. I don't know. Maybe he just might know something about money. Maybe you might want to talk to me. Probably not. I've probably been doing this as long as you're alive. If you are 35 and younger, I've been doing this as long as you've been alive. Maybe you might want to hear about how to put a business together instead of just, oh man, I can show you how to do a online trust in 5 minutes. Okay, yeah, show me how to do that. But how much money you got in that fucking trust? Oh, I'm sure you got hundreds of millions of dollars in that trust. Wow, you got 100 million people watching you. Oh, see how simple I created my trust? Okay, you know what? What's the value of trust if you ain't got shit in it?
Boom.
Oh, but he showed you how easy it was to set up a trust. Man, get out of here with that bull. Oh, let me show you how to set up the LLC. Oh, let me show you the diagram of how you connect the LLC to the holding company, to this, to that. Hey, let me ask you a question. Do you even have $100,000 in the bank right now, homeboy, homegirl? Or is the money that you making on sponsorship that you leading these fools over the cliff as you showing your travel around the world? Because stop it with all the bullshit. But maybe you might want to, get advice from somebody who's built 7-figure companies. Maybe you might want to get advice from somebody who Chase Bank hired to run his curriculum, Family Finance 101, in 2022, from May to July, and took 358 professionals through our curriculum and discovered $42 million worth of mismanaged money that Chase paid me to do for my curriculum that I created back in 2002. Maybe you want to talk to me because the Montgomery Regional Airport that's in Montgomery, Alabama in 2019 said, can we hire you, Mr. DJ, the money coach, to actually do all the open enrollment and financial education plans for me, the CEO, down to our janitor for 3 days, and then work with them for the next 60 days. And we pay you, Mr. DJ, the money coach, $595 per person with success, because they actually cut a video to praise us for the work we've done. But maybe you don't want to talk to me for that reason. Maybe you might want to talk to me because the former chief operating officer for the city of Houston Public Works hired me for about 5-6 years to do financial seminars for over 30,000 credit union members, including their staff, that we took them from 5% participation in their 401k plan to over 94% in 24 months. I don't know, man. I don't know. You might not see any value in that. Or maybe you might want to talk to me because I used to own a minority equity position in a mortgage bank for like 4 years. And in the process of doing that, financed over 80 houses, hard money loans, refinance, traditional mortgages. And on average, for every loan that we did legally, ethically, and morally sound, I made $10,000 to $12,000 on a $100,000 mortgage. Maybe you might want to talk to me. No, you might not want to talk to me, but maybe you might want to talk to me because Microsoft reached out to me in 2023, and invited me to the exclusive 7-figure club of their top minority vendors, clients across the country to talk about the resorts that we're building in Zanzibar that I was able to get controlling largest investor partner in a $60 million resort on a handshake. On a handshake, ladies and gentlemen. And that handshake now is turned into, personally, for my building, my gym, 8-figure value. And starting next month is going to produce a heavy north of 50K a month in residual income. I don't know. Maybe you might want to. Well, maybe you don't want to talk to me for that. Maybe you might want to talk to me because I've helped in the last 12 months raise close to $500,000 for a couple of great startups that about to be some of the best startups that you ever heard about that are affiliated with Microsoft, Google, Stock Exchange. Or maybe you might want to talk to me because in 2 years, I raised $3 million hardline cash to acquire multiple acres of land in Zanzibar and start 4 ancillary businesses from nothing. And in the midst of doing that, I've outraised startups that got more resources, better technology than we got, but for some reason, they call me. They don't call you. Or maybe you might want to call me for this reason and this reason only. Maybe you truly want to own 100% of yourself, be able to speak your truth to power when it's not convenient, when somebody is pushing their tolerations on you, but don't want to tolerate your beliefs, and you can be free and live standing instead of on your knees because you are your own man or your own woman, and you are stress-free, you are young, and you are gorgeous, like me. Now, you may say, DJ, that's kind of vanity-wise, but I'm not trying to be vanity-based. But my point is, I got 5.5 decades on this planet. Do I look like I got 5.5 decades on this planet? I look like I got about only 3 decades on this planet. You know why? Because I'm free, baby. And I want you to be free. And the only way to be free is to be debt-free, to have 6 figures and passive income coming in, and to speak your truth and sleep like a king or a queen every night. Because if I didn't, guess what? I'd have white hair. I'd have wrinkles. See, I'm shaving because I look young. It's not because I got great genes. God did, but guess what? I'm free. So I don't stress like you do. It doesn't speed up the aging process. Maybe you might just want to get a cup of that. Man, maybe you're looking at Ponce de Leon right now. And again, don't take this the wrong way, but the fruit is on the tree. And if I got the fruit on the tree, I can give it to you too. Because you know what? If we eliminate the financial challenges, we eliminate the stress, then you reverse the aging process. Add that together with eating right and some exercise, and before you know it, you done lost 10 years off your life and you feel vibrant. You got a bounce in your step. You got a smile on your face. And albeit we all gonna still have challenges, because I have a lot of challenges. But guess what? When you're free, they don't affect you as adversely as when you're not free. And as I always tell my team, if somehow miraculously my freedom was compromised, or somehow it was taken away from me, because I have no debt personally, and everything that I have and show people I own, I go right up the street to the gas station and I will have no problem working for $20 an hour to pay my regular bills, ladies and gentlemen. But thank God, I don't have to do that. And there's nothing special about me. The only thing special is that I know that talent is overrated, and I know that I have incorporated the 4x4 in my life. I saved myself first by getting saved by God, and then God gave me a vision, gave me a purpose, gave me a plan, and I put the work in play, got myself out of debt, ladies and gentlemen, paid off everything, didn't file bankruptcy, didn't dump my personal debt on society like a loser, did the work, documented my work, took that work into my church, created faith, love, and money, biblically, helped the people in my church, became so rewarding and productive that I created a secular program called Family Finance 101. Real basic name. And did the work. And now I realize what that work was. And about 10 years in, I said, oh, wait a minute. Having sat down with 10,000 people, here's some common characteristics of everybody who's successful. Number one, discipline. Number two, accountability. Number three, plugged into a system of success. And that system of success, it's not a shameless plug. It just happened to be truth, ladies and gentlemen. Why do I keep this DVD? Because this was created in 2007. The fruit's on the tree, ladies and gentlemen. So I realized that these 7 spheres of money was prevalent needs for everybody in the community. And if we can just plug them into these resources and have discipline, accountability, plug into the 7 spheres of money system and put our heads down, not for 2 to 5 days, not for 2 to 5 weeks, not for 2 to 5 months, but 2 to 5 years, we can reverse all negative financial trends in your family because you weren't taught this in school. And then I said, wait a minute, what better way to get this out and to document the narrative and teach people the ABCs of wealth, the common sense strategy for achieving the American dream. That's right. So in this book, it's not a, allegory. It's a real case study of actual things that I went through with people, with organizations, with communities on how to get out of basic financial dire straits and get onto thriving. Strategy E, educate yourself. That's the first thing you got to do. Put the education in. Strategy D, dream, discipline, determination, direction. Strategy C is the most important one. Have courage. Courage is not the absence of fear, ladies and gentlemen. It is the ability to go headstrong into negative opposition. Let me tell you this. Everybody's making a negative out of Rhino. But let me tell you this. I've been using Rhino for 25 years. Running headstrong into negative opposition is Rhino. Has nothing to do with a political party. You have to have courage to look in the mirror and admit to yourself you are without the resources, the tools. And once you do that, then humble thyself and ask the Most High for help, and he will intervene on your behalf. And he will provide you with the master teacher. So once you have done that in sincerity, he will open up the door. And now that you've done the first four, discipline, accountability, plug into the system, and start the work, now you got to practice the 4 Ps. You got to have professionalism. And I always hate when I have to explain professionalism to folks. But it doesn't matter if you're 90 or 9. If you don't know, or you purposely say, I don't have to apply professionalism, then you're a fool. And what does professionalism mean to me? Real simple. Speak the King's English. See, when I say that, you think I'm really talking about literally English. No, I'm saying the language, the jargon of the industry that you want to make money in. If I'm an educator like Nick, I'm going to speak syllabus, final exams, quizzes. Do you understand? That's the King's English as an educator. 20% grade for the year based on you doing the essay or the term paper. That's the King's English. If I'm going to speak the King's English in the private equity sector, I'm going to talk about debt, credit, service. I'm going to talk about, payments, installments. I'm going to talk about equity, liabilities. You follow what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen? That's the King's English. If I'm talking about personal finances, I'm going to speak budget, emergency fund, credit cards, pay off debt. That's the King's English, ladies and gentlemen. Now, if I'm just talking about, hey, speak properly, then yes, I'm going to tell you to speak correctly. Not saying fixer, I'm doing. Because in your hood, they may understand fixer, fixing it. But guess what? Even though that person outside the hood has heard it, they're not interested in the way you speak. You'll catch that on the way home because you just thought you made 100 racks because you came up with some bullcrap rap song or whatever. You know what I mean? The second thing is dress the part. Here's what a mentor of mine told me. He said, DJ, if you don't want that person's insecurities projected onto you and allow them not to engage with you financially, how about you look the way they expect a professional to look? If I'm young like Tajir, I'm going to dress above the person I go to see. If they're going to wear a $500 suit, I'm wearing a $1,000 suit if I have one. If they typically are clean shaven, I'm going to be clean shaven. It's not that I'm a sellout. I just want to be relatable so they can hear the message and not get distracted from the messenger. Does that make sense, ladies and gentlemen? And again, if you're 55, 60 years old and you're hearing this and you're having trouble financially and you're not looking the part because you say, hey, I'm too old, I'm doing my thing. Hey, man, stay broke. But if you happen to have made it and you have $15,000, $20,000 coming in every month like clockwork, which you ever haven't doing no work, hey, sister, brother, look whatever the way you want to look, speak whatever you want to speak. Because you ain't got to be concerned about it. Now you got some FUCK money. So look the part, speak the part, and then here's the most important one. Be on time, baby. Be on time. I'm a pet peeve for being on time. If the show starts at 6:30 p.m., 7:30 Eastern time, we are prepping at 6 p.m., 7 Eastern. We are running the run through at 15 minutes, and at 6:30, 7:30 Eastern time, we are going live. And even if somebody doesn't say something, when you always show up late, they are downgrading you until your superstardom, comes down, when they just get tired where your talent and your production don't equate to the problems. That's when they cancel your ass. So the second P, you have to persistently pursue your plan. Through good times, through bad, through stagnant times, persistently, you have to be like water, constantly flowing forward, because if water gets still, it stagnates. Viruses, germs, all of that makes that water poisonous. You have to constantly flow downward or upward so you have livelihood. That's persistency. Then number 3, when we have tough times, which we always going to have, because it's an ebb and flow in the world, in personal lives and business, you have to have perseverance, intestinal fortitude, meaning that when times get tough, you get tougher. You get calmer, patient, because you're working your plan. You don't panic. And then you got to hit the big shot. Lamar Jackson, I'm talking to you, my brother. I like you, Lamar, but here's the reality. Your super freaky athleticism is never going to win you a Super Bowl, my brother. You have to know how to perform and throw that touch pass when Zay Flowers is wide open in the back of the end zone. You got to know how to hit likely while he's 2-3 feet ahead of the DB or the safety that's following him, and just put that bad boy right in the bread basket instead of throwing it to the back of the end zone when he was wide open. And y'all got to stop making excuses for the brother, because he's a great regular season quarterback, but he's not a passing quarterback. You know why? Because his playoff record reflects it. He's 2-4. And they say, oh, wait a minute. What if he gets home field advantage one time and got the best defense and the best offense? Had that last year. What happened? Lost. Inability to be humble and be able to perform at the highest level and stop being a runner and be a passer and a real leader. So when the lights are the brightest and they're expecting you to bring home the W, you deliver calmly. But you can't do that if you're not doing the work on your weak parts in the offseason. So every time the bright lights come on, you'll do well for 3 quarters. But when it's the last 2 minutes, hey man, Lamar, we started out on the 13-yard line. He got us all the way but he still didn't make the pass. So it was all for naught. You might as well just went 4 and out, baby. Because the frustration wouldn't have been as hard when you sat in front of the press conference and made excuses. Oh, I thought it was a touchdown. I still believe right now it's a touchdown. See, you're lying to yourself, Lamar. Because you threw 3 bad passes and 3 straight downs to 3 wide open people. Oh, I hear you, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, well, he had to break right, break left, and nobody could do that but Lamar. Okay, right. But he's done that multiple times, so why can't he make that pass if he's the only one that can do it? Because I can reassure you that if I got a guy open that wide 3 times, I'm hitting 1 out of 3 inbounds. You could take that to the bank. Because see, guess what? If my income and my livelihood was based on that pass being correct 1 out of 3, and I didn't have a $50 million guaranteed contract, are you hitting it? No, you're not, Lamar, because you didn't do it then. Y'all understand where I'm coming from? But guess what? You may not like Patty Holmes, but Patty Holmes make the play. You might not like Tom Brady, but you know what? Tom Brady make the play. You might not like Michael Jordan, but guess what? 6-0 in championships with 6 world championship MVPs. It says all you need to hear. My actions louder than my words, because in the clutch, I'm moving Byron Russell to the side, breaking his ankles, and I'm getting that iconic pose, winning the NBA championship in 1998. And everybody in the stadium knew who was getting the ball. Every time. Everybody in the stadium knew Lamar Jackson was going to do the same thing. He going to cut right, cut left. He going to wiggle. He going to get that freaky fast speed. But when that pass needs to be done on the winning path, he's not capable of doing it. It's not because he don't have the talent. It's not because he don't have the intelligence. It's because he doesn't have the humility to put the fucking work in to practice on making that touch pass. Because he focuses too much on his super freaky athleticism and he don't work on the stuff that's fundamentals, baby. Good form, good presence, poop, 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 hitting them darts. Where you at? Where's your performance when your bills are due at the end of the month? Your kids are hungry. They want to go to private school. They want to go to culinary school. Your spouse wants to go on the 20th year anniversary and tour all of Africa. Your mom wants to cruise around the world. Where you at? Or maybe some charity just needs your time, not your money. Where you at? When they make the call to you, and everybody knows the call is coming to you, and you are the go-getter in your family, are you putting up W's? Or are you making justifications and reasons stuffed inside of a lie? Can't do both, baby. Or are you watching all the likes and letting people razzle and frazzle you? Hey, here's the last tip of the day. Mind your business and God will bless you infinitely. So, I'm DJ the Money Coach. You're watching Family Finance Friday with the DJ the Money Coach team, with yours truly, the uncomparable, unparalleled Nick Westbrooks, and the amazing prodigy known as El Presidente, Tajir Green. And we want to thank you on behalf of all our community for watching this amazing broadcast tonight. And all we ask you to do, because it's free, is to share it. I really don't care if you like it because I don't read comments. If you want to subscribe, get on down with us. But if you got something out of this tonight, share it. Don't be selfish. Because in order for you to have plenty of money and peace of mind, you have to bless somebody first and take the I and replace it with we so we can create wellness in our community. So we wish you plenty of mind, peace of mind, and plenty of money. I say I got that wrong. Plenty of money and peace of mind. And we want you to come join us on the Beaches of the World Club. And like my man Nick always says,
yeah, like I always say, your beach may not be sand and water or Zanzibar like our beach is, but your beach is what you make it, wherever you choose it to be. But it starts in the mind. Your beach starts where you find that mental tranquility and that peace, that absence of chaos and confusion.
So with that, ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you next time. It's go time. And the Pom Pom Lifestyle Movement can't be stopped. God bless you.
It's official. We're in business, guys.
All right.
Here's where we do it at, baby. Cooperative economics. What's happening, everybody? This is DJ the Money Coach coming to you live January 17th, 2024. And history has already been recorded. That's right. We just opened up a 220-unit luxury residential resort in Zanzibar. We also are completing 4 luxury townhouses in Zanzibar. And we're also going to open up the Pom Pom Lifestyle Resort in Zanzibar. It's Africans for Africans, supported by Black Americans, unapologetically. So what time is it?
The Pom Pom Lifestyle movement can't be stopped.
Hit the link. Join us on the Beaches World in Zanzibar. Home is ours. Peace.